Hi, my name is Liz Hiller with NACE. I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar, Strategies for Recruiting College Students Based on NACE Survey Results. It is my pleasure to introduce today's sponsor, GenSpark.
Hello, can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes.
Hello, colleges, employers, amazing team at NACE. My name is Melinda Carrion. I am the head of campus recruitment, D&I, and partners at GenSpark. First, I want to say thank you for allowing GenSpark to be part of such an amazing survey that provides us with such valuable insight. I'm going to play a short video so you can get a little more background about GenSpark. I promise it's short. Let's see if this works.
In today's talent landscape, employers are facing a critical challenge: the lack of skilled, diverse talent. While job seekers are looking for opportunities to skill and
That's not true.
In today's talent landscape, employers are facing a critical challenge: the lack of skilled, diverse talent. While job seekers are looking for opportunities to upskill and reskill to stay competitive, GenSpark is recasting the tech workforce by developing a skilled and diverse pipeline of talent that better reflects today's society. Our unique process is designed to build a bridge between companies who are having trouble filling positions and potential employees who need that extra experience to fill them. Whether you're a job seeker looking to spark your career or a future employer looking for the next generation of your workforce, we can help. Introducing GenSpark. Get in touch today to learn more.
Am I back on? Everybody can hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Well, we are very excited to hear about everything that everybody's going to talk about regarding the survey. We definitely wanted to talk about the top attributes students want in their job because it relates directly to GenSpark. We love hearing the results of the top attributes, and we hear you loud and clear when students are saying that they need certain things. And that's probably why our business model is set up for graduates and employers up for great success. The first part we want to talk about is the opportunity to develop skills specific to the job. Our hire, train, deploy model gets individuals trained in specific skills needed on the job to be productive within the first week, because our training sets individuals up to seamlessly integrate into our projects with the skills individuals have been trained on. So we hear you guys loud and clear when you guys talk about that. And then, of course, one of the reasons we thrive as a company is because we kind of offer that job security, right? We partner up with organizations that are looking for long-term growth from the individuals hired through our program. And we continuously upskill throughout your career to have the leading skills necessary to thrive and develop all the way through. Probably why our retention rate is at 96%. The other thing that is big for us, probably my favorite to see, is embracing diversity. This is embedded in GenSpark's DNA. We don't just talk the talk, but we walk the walk. When it comes to diversity, we have a 76% of our hires through our program come from underrepresented groups, underserved communities, and we cultivate a huge sense of belonging and inclusivity through our big ERG groups. GenSpark knows the surveys are vital to align the needs of college students with employers, so we're excited to kick off this webinar and hear what all the amazing people from XPO, Vanguard, and Walmart are also doing and changing to recruit college students based on the results of this survey. Thank you again for the opportunity to partner up with NACE, and back over to you.
Thank you so much, GenSpark, for sponsoring today's event. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Sean Vanderzeel, President and Chief Executive Officer for NACE, and Joshua Kahn, Associate Director of Research and Public Policy for NACE. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. It's so great to see you today, to be with you today, to talk through our student survey results. The student survey is an amazing survey because we get so much data from it. We count on our members to help us to get this data. And so this all comes from you, through you, particularly our colleges and universities. You all who are on the university and college side help to distribute this to our students, your students, and then we're able to glean incredible insights from those students that help us to understand the bridging of college to work. In this particular survey, we had close to 20,000 people complete it between the 2-year and 4-year schools. So it includes associate degrees all the way through doctoral. And the various data that you'll see and you'll hear about today will be segmented by degree levels. And Josh will talk us through that as we go through. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, I'm Sean Vanderziel, the president and CEO of NACE. And I am joined today by Josh Kahn. Josh, will you introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everybody. Happy to be here. My name is Josh Kahn. I'm the Associate Director of Research and Public Policy for NACE. I've been with NACE about 5.5 years. I work on our student survey. I work on a bunch of other special projects related to career readiness, internships, and some of our benchmarking work as well. Really excited to show you some of these results today and talk through them with our panelists.
Awesome, Josh. You're going to love hearing from Josh. All of his insights. This is what he does day in and day out. So he's got an intimate view of all of this information. And we are also joined today by 2 panelists, and I want to bring them up so that you know who they are. Mihi, would you join us on screen and provide us with an introduction to you?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for letting me be a part of this great event here. My name is Mihi Smith. I'm an early career and diversity recruiting manager for XPO. XPO is a trucking company. We're one of the largest providers of freight transportation in North America. We help and serve our customers move goods throughout their supply chains, and we work with more than 30,000 customers, all sizes, small, all the way to blue chip companies. We have 22,000 employees across nearly 300 locations across North America, and the majority of our workforce are drivers and dock workers, but we have over 6 office locations that serve our support teams in technology, sales, accounting, finance, HR, and more.
Excellent. Thanks for that overview, Mihi. We appreciate that. And I'd like to bring on Erica Fasu.
Hello, everybody. My name is Erica Fosu. Nice to be here with you all. I am an early talent engagement manager at Vanguard, hailing out of the Charlotte, North Carolina location. I've been here for 8 years. Vanguard is a financial investment institution. We're based in Charlotte, Malvern, Pennsylvania, Dallas, Texas, and Scottsdale, Arizona. We have about 17,000 employees, or crew members, what we call them, across the nation, and also in some certain overseas markets. Within emerging talent and diversity recruiting strategies, my team, we are aligned to ensuring that we are democratizing access to opportunities for underrepresented minorities for early talent and experience level positions. Thank you for having me today.
Well, we're happy to have you here. So thanks for being here. So everyone, this is what we're going to do. We are actually going to walk through our interactive dashboard that is on the NACE website. This dashboard, when you see it, is available to anyone who purchases into the dashboard, but also anyone who participated in the survey, meaning schools who participated in the survey with their students, that you get automatic free access to this tool. There's also a report that goes along with this that is available for purchase. Again, it's free for the schools who participated in the reporting with students. So we appreciate all of you, and those are in your accounts. So the reason that we're doing the session, due to the generosity of GenSpark, and so I really appreciate Melinda and GenSpark for helping us through this is that we're able to do a webinar like this for free for anyone so that you can hear all of the top level insights that we found in the student survey, which I think you're going to find pretty fascinating. And we're going to go through this with you. So Josh is going to share with us now the dashboard. We're actually going to roll through the dashboard. He's going to be clicking around in there to show you how the results change based upon demographics, based upon question, et cetera, et cetera. And after we go through a few insights and we take a look at that dashboard, we are then going to turn to our panelists and ask them some questions based upon that. So we're going to go back and forth between taking a look at the dashboard, seeing what the students are saying, and then we're going to turn to our panelists to ask for their reactions on some of the information that you have heard. So Josh, we're going to go ahead and dive in here. Would you mind making that really big for us? And you'll need to unmute, Josh.
Yep, I'm going to go full screen. I just wanted to let people know the report can be downloaded on the same page as the dashboard. The link that's been put into the chat, you just click here, view report, and then scroll down. There's some tips on how to navigate it. We'd love to hear feedback. And let's jump into the dashboard. Now I'm going to go full screen. And we full screen?
We are.
All right, good. Okay, so we want to start with talking about this new section of questions that we put into the survey this year, surveying students about their sense of the value of their degree in different ways. There's been a lot of discussion about, the value of higher education and whether or not degree is still worth it. So we wanted to, collect some data on it and see what students are telling us. So overall, top line, headline, 91% of students would re-enroll in college if they had a chance to do it all over again. 75% would choose the same major. That indicates pretty strong value. Students that go to college are pretty well satisfied with their overall experience. You can see at the bottom, only 34% though think that they would be able to pay off their student loans in a reasonable amount of time. The bottom three you can see are all economically related. The top ones are all related to their career, and we did focus on career because we're NACE. So some of these results, they vary a little bit by major. We'll also dig in and you'll see how some of these majors did in terms of salary and job offers, but I want to show you really fast. Some of these do vary by major here. Liberal arts majors, I'm sure you might be able to guess their sense of value of their degree, a little bit lower than overall, right? Business students, a little bit lower too. STEM students, I'm sure you can guess, a bit higher overall in general, but I want to show you public service students. Public service is things like teachers, criminal justice majors, theology majors, people that really serve the public. They have a very high sense of value in their degree in terms of their career, quite low though in terms of financial outcomes. So students are really keying in, but they're not just focused on the economics of going to college. There is some career-related aspects and whether they're able to meet their individual missions by going to higher ed. I want to point out something else on this page that I found very interesting. We also asked students about their levels of belonging across different aspects of school and of their campus. And, I wouldn't think that students' sense of their belonging would be directly related to whether they can find meaningful work or they would find a job that's aligned with their career goals. But it really is. Look at this. Students, I clicked on the yellow chunk of the pie there. You can, if you hold your mouse over it, you can see different stats. So we have 1,624 students in this category that agreed. 80% of them agreed that they belonged at their school. Let me move the mouse away so you can see. All of these numbers in the pink bars, they're all going up, which indicates that students, their vibes about their school greatly influences their sense of value in their degree and their perceptions of their experience. Look what happens if I click on that disagree, that they do not think they belonged at their school. Their sense of their value of their degree basically plummets, gets cut in half pretty much. So, I was looking through the data and I realized that there is so much in belonging. And we are going to talk about it on various pages throughout. But I wanted to point that out and show that there really is a connection between their sense of belonging on campus and their sense of what they got out of college at the end of the day. Briefly, before we get to our panelists here, I want to show one more thing. We asked, how well did your institution prepare you for your career or your next step, like going to grad school? So the next step in their progression. And again, this you would think has a relationship, and it does, a huge impact on their sense. So this really would say that career preparation has a large impact on whether or not students actually do think that they will find meaningful work, for example, or attain career satisfaction or find a job that's aligned with their career goals. And so this really highlights the work that career centers are doing. And, I think the data really show that out. Look what happens if they do not think that their institution, I just clicked on the blue piece of the chart, students who think their institution prepared them poorly really gets cut in half again. So if you combine these, they were prepared well and they think they belonged, you have students that are very well satisfied in their experience with their degree. So let me now turn it over to our
Yeah,
panelists.
Josh, thanks so much. A couple things we just want to clarify because we've had questions. One that close to 20,000 students participated in the full survey. And then depending upon the question, you're going to find that there are a different number of respondents for every question. So this particular question was asked only of seniors. And so this becomes a much smaller pool. And then of those seniors, those that actually answered this particular question. And those are all indicated as Josh is clicking around. You will see on there sometimes how many are in that. So in this particular bar on that first one, there were over 1,900 students who reported that in that 91%. The other question, Josh, that was asked is, when you're making these comparisons, is it statistically significant?
Statistical significance, yes. I mean, some of these are, some of these are not, and it really varies. I can tell you that, for example, when the numbers get cut in half with 1,900 respondents, yes, those differences will be statistically significant between these groups in the pie charts. So yes, those who thought it was poorly were statistically different than those who thought it was well. And I would have to look again at the numbers to remember how moderately fell. That would not, I would think that would be statistically significant with 1,900 respondents. So I will try to mention statistical significance when I can, or when I have the notes in front of me on it.
Awesome. And then on this one, maybe Erica, we have, our colleges often wonder, like, are employers having conversations around degree requirements? How well are college students prepared? And just wondering any general thoughts that you have or insights you might be able to provide us.
Yes, it's actually a conversation that Vanguard has had over the last few years. We did, so we have a variety of programs, some that are leadership development based, and others that are just general entry level roles. For the finance entry level role called Client Relationship Associate, that one we did remove the degree requirement. Because it is a client facing role, what we really value is customer service experience as well as learning agility, since there is a robust training program that we will be putting all new hires through. For IT entry level positions, we also are considering removing bachelor's degrees. We still keep it there, but we do not. We preface it as a preference, but not a requirement. We do value those who have certificates and also boot camp experience, who feel that they can also perform well in the role. Our application engineering roles have what's called HackerRank attached to it. HackerRank is a tech assessment. And so as long as a candidate can pass that, that gives us a strong indicator that they will be able to be successful in the role. And so that's what we primarily value. So it is something that is happening as it relates to our leadership development programs, internship, and the full-time programs. We still have the educational requirement. There isn't talks about removing it just yet, but I could see in the future, maybe not the near future, but in the future, some changes coming into that, because I've been doing some research myself within Lightcast, and I'm seeing that there are less and less students enrolling in a variety of majors like accounting and corporate finance. So I think it's going to be a very interesting case study to follow through the years to come, especially with Gen Z.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Erica. I mean, I think that you are right at the leading edge of what other companies are doing as well, and what we're hearing in our research. And so another piece of research that we do is our job outlook that we, in our recruiting benchmarks, both of those, where we survey employers about what's happening, right? And what we're finding is what you just stated, which is that there is some evaluation being done for particular jobs that probably need it to be done. But in those instances where it's being done because of labor shortages, it's being done because of equity issues, but it's not being done because there's a lack of confidence in the college degree. It's that those positions probably didn't need to have the degree requirements to begin with. And so we're hearing that loud and clear from employers that the value of higher ed is still there, but we need to treat it seriously. What is really needed for what jobs, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, Josh, let's move on to the next set of data.
Okay, we're going to click here across the top there. These are buttons you can click to move on different tabs. We're going to look at internships. I'm going to go kind of quickly because we want to share a lot here. There's a lot of data on here. We did ask for the first time how many experiential learning opportunities students participated in and how many of those were specifically internships. So that is something that we will continue to track moving forward. The data on this tab all reflect graduating seniors. So those are seniors in their 4th or 5th year of college that told us they were on track to graduate. Not so much has changed in terms of employer types from last year. Modality, in-person is increasing. Last year it was 66%. This year 77%. Hybrid held firm. About 1 in 6 internships were hybrid. We expect that to more or less continue moving forward while virtual is shrinking. One of the big pieces of news this year is that the percent of paid interns broke out of its range that it has been in for at least about the last decade. We've been seeing paid internships about 50 to 55% for the last decade. So this year we've broken out to 59%, and I hope and am very much looking forward to this year's data to see if we've fallen back into the range or if we have really maybe started a new move forward. Conversion rates, we asked students if they got an offer from their internship employer. This year, the number went down to about 36%. Last year, it was at 42%, which is not surprising considering how tight the labor market was last year. It's loosened up a tad, and we've seen this offer number come down a little bit. Micro internships are a part of internships. Yes, here I see a question in the chat really fast there. Yes, micro internships, and on-campus student workers are not included in internships, but things like apprenticeships, co-ops, they all count as internships for this chart. The one thing I really want to click on to highlight, which we know, but if I'm going to click this yellow piece of the chart here, paid, you're going to see all the other numbers here shift around. I'm going to look over here to see the offer number shift for paid interns. 53%. It goes up from 36 to over half. 53% of paid interns received an offer. Okay, unpaid. Clicking on. 22% of unpaid interns received an offer. Huge difference. It's something we've been highlighting for our research over time. You can also see the bulk of unpaid interns are in nonprofits and state or local government. If I click back on paid, you'll see this bar go way high. So most 67% of paid interns work at the private for-profit employer. So I just want to show a little bit of how to use the dashboard and some of the big findings that we're pulling out of it. You can click on each bar and see if someone interned at a private for-profit employer, they received 1.31 job offers on average. If they worked at a nonprofit, that number goes down to 96. So the dashboard really lets you look around and look at a lot of these data here. There's also gender and race, ethnicity, demographic buttons at the bottom that we can click on. We will click on those in some of the later tabs, but I want to give our panelists a chance to react to some of the data.
Thanks, Josh. I really appreciate that. And just so that our audience knows, we also do an internship survey every year. It's a very highly anticipated report that is put out in the spring that comes from our employers on how they went through their internship programs. And we find that the data very much mirrors what the students actually tell us about the internship programs. And in this particular example, when Josh clicked on the paid interns and then we saw if they received an offer, we do find that on those conversion rates that that they're very similar. So we find that it's about 55% of those students end up converting. And so when you take into consideration the whole universe of types of internships, that changes pretty dramatically. While we didn't click on the race questions here, demographics, I am curious around some of the demographic issues related to internships. I'm hoping our panelists can help us with that. Two things I'd be curious about would be the unpaid internship question about candidates who have unpaid internship experience, if you view those differently, if you get a lot of those through your pipelines. And then secondly, are you meeting your goals related to your internship programs based upon demographics, diversity demographics? Why don't we start with Mihi this time?
Yeah, absolutely. We offer paid internships, so I can't comment on the unpaid. We value our interns and absolutely pay each of them. From a diversity metric and numbers in our intern program in 2023, this past summer, we had a 67% diverse intern class. And then of those interns that were available for immediate conversion, so they had to be seniors, we achieved an 80% median conversion rate. So we're very pleased. And I know it takes a lot of intentionality to get those marks and a commitment, not from just me who oversees the program, but all of our HR business partners that are working with our business leaders who are making the budget decisions to bring on interns, to everyone from our learning and development team who provides professional development. It's a program. So it's all of our data, it's all of our success in what we believe in providing a great experience for our interns. So we're proud of that because that was a commitment of our entire company and so many teams that raised their hands and said, yes, we want an intern. And I said, okay, it's going to look different this year. There's some elements that we are hearing from these surveys that it's important for what the interns are saying they want out of the experience. So we have to align and provide the best experience. So, it takes the team. I know Erica will probably concur. It takes a whole team within a company to commit and want to be successful in achieving a diverse intern class, but also committing to each other that we're going to work through this experience, all these experiences, and to ensure that our students, that's the goal. If we want to bring them into our company, we provide the best experience and then we'll get the results there.
Thank you. How about for you, Erica?
Yeah, similar to me, we do not do unpaid internships. We only do paid internships, and we provide housing for our interns in the PA and North Carolina locations. As it relates to diversity, again, very similar to me, we are about 65% over all of our tracks. We have about 6 different tracks in our internship, 65% diversity. Now, how do we attain that? Is really aligned to my team. So the Emerging Talent and Diversity Recruiting Strategies team. We have affinity leads. So we have a Black talent lead, a Latinx lead, women's, LGBTQIA, Indigenous, and all of these leads are aligned to attract talent into the respective programs. And so we regularly meet with our internship program managers to understand what are their talent needs and what are they looking to achieve within the representation in their programs. And we ensure that as we are engaging with universities and also national organizations like Alpha, Afrotech, et cetera, that we are bringing in that talent through brand awareness activities, such as career fairs, development workshops, or providing the opportunity for on-site interviewing at those institutions. So this team has been around since 2020, but our diversity recruiting strategies team or members have been doing this work since like the early 2016. So I'm really proud of the work that we do, and it's never ending, and we've been able to see some really great results. So yeah.
But definitely need a strategy. So it sounds like you have that in place. Great work,
Yes.
Erica and Mihi. All right, Josh, we're going to go ahead and move over to the next tab.
All right. We have a tab strictly on intern conversion. We've identified some factors that are linked with conversion. Yes, statistically significant relationships for these 2 bottom ones, at least. And we asked students about their satisfaction, if they were satisfied with their internship, if they wanted to remain at the organization after their internship was completed. We call that intention to convert. And we asked them, how likely would you be to accept an offer if one were extended to you? So that's the 3rd one there. So I want to show, again, the influence that supervisory support and belonging have with interns and their desires to their satisfaction and desire to convert. We did ask specifically about if they felt they belonged at their internship organization. So all of these are directly linked to their internship. I'm going to click on this yellow chunk of the pie here, and you'll see these pink gauges move slightly, right? I would just want to show that, like, being paid and unpaid, there's more to the internship experience than that. And so it moves up slightly, right? They edge up a little bit. They're going to edge down a little bit here. Okay. Again, modality, it has some impact, but not a huge. These are not statistically significantly related. Hybrid is the best one. Virtual, a little bit lower, right? Okay. But now I'm going to click on the big yellow chunk that the student felt they belonged at the organization. It's going to move up quite a bit compared to the others. And if they do not, I clicked on the pink piece of the chunk of the pie. If they did not feel they belonged, their satisfaction, their likelihood to convert plummet, basically. So if we have a paid intern, I'm hitting control while I click on the yellow chunk here, who agreed that they had supervisory support, who felt they belonged at the organization, and who was a hybrid intern, you now have an intern that is very satisfied with their experience and who is very likely to accept an offer. So if employers out there can construct their internship programs such that interns feel they have enough support and they belong at the organization and they are enjoying the work that they do, you are increasing your odds of being able to convert that intern. I skipped this box, but it's very similar. The numbers are very similar to belonging. So supervisory support and belonging are really meeting students' needs. We can click around if we have time. If y'all think we have some time, we can click around and look at some differences by gender and race ethnicity.
Why don't we just look at race? Why don't we select Black and Hispanic students and see what happens?
Okay. Black students slightly lower. all these pink bars go down like kind of a lot. Black students and what did I have? Black men in particular, quite dissatisfied with their internship experiences. Black women, just, you know, by the math of it, theirs will go up a little bit because the black men went down, right? So you can see some divergence there. Let's look at Hispanic students. Actually fairly satisfied, like right around the average there, with everyone else. Hispanic women, it edges down a little bit. Hispanic men edges moves up quite a bit. So Hispanic men were quite satisfied with their internships. And
that just goes to show you, right, the power of tracking and taking a look by demographic. If you're particularly interested in retaining folks, if you're interested in recruiting folks, that you really have to dig down into your numbers to understand what's happening by population.
And I found one that was kind of interesting for Asian students, Asian men. Their satisfaction is quite high, but their intention to convert was quite low, and that was sort of the only group that moved like that. So I found that sort of an interesting outcome there. Let's see.
Yeah. And one of the things that we often find with our surveys, particularly around Asian students, that many of members of our community do bring up are around around international students, where the largest percentage of international students happen to be Asian. And so that could have some influence on those conversions and the acceptance offers that are happening. That's one trend that we see, but it could be a variety of other things as well. I'd love to turn to Erica and Mihi on this one in terms of just hearing from you on the sense of belonging question and the supervisory support question, your reactions, your thoughts, things that you're doing or things that you're seeing.
Yeah, I can
Erica?
kick us off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's extremely important that interns feel like they belong not only within the organization, but amongst their core cohort. So as it relates to support and kind of supervisory structure at Vanguard, they do have their direct program manager, but because they are aligned to a certain group within that track, so if accounting, they're aligned to maybe a corporate auditing group for that 10 weeks, that department manager also serves as their second supervisor. So they get two supervisors. For any participant who went through the internship, got converted into the full-time leadership development program, those crew members are asked to serve as mentors for the interns in their respective track. And so all interns also are aligned to buddies. And there's a very strategic way that we align buddies. We ensure that there are similar interests, similar backgrounds, and we try to, as much as possible, align based on, representation, diverse representation as well. In the internship experience, we have a variety of social nights or social evenings where we get all the interns together, program managers, and really connect, kind of take off that work hat. And we also do community service together. So it is known that during the 10 weeks that they're with us, we all go out into the community. Each site organizes some type of service project. So we really try to ensure that within the cadre, they feel included, but then there are also elements of the overall Vanguard culture that we want to bring them in, such as the service work as well.
And I'll add that we have a intern manager, and oftentimes it's a current people leader within that functional team. And then there is an intern mentor. So every intern has two team members supporting them every day in and day out. They also see me because I lead the program management side. So every intern sees me at least 2, sometimes 3 times a week. I will attend their professional development sessions to create a safe space for them to respond. And, they see my familiar face as well. So we, at our core, we know that our interns bring in value for however long they're with us. They are a contributing member, in their time. We treat them like an employee. So I think that's an incredible experience to make sure that they belong. We advise all of our intern managers that they are to be invited to team meetings. If there's a town hall, include them, introduce them. They are part of the fabric of our organizations. And then we are extremely cross-functional in a lot of our projects. So we ask that if it's a pricing analyst, that sales is very important to their work day to day. So please make sure that they are shadowing somebody on our sales team as well to really understand other business functions that can help support their growth in the role that they have. So very interconnected, and yes, they have supervisors, but their supervisors are also guided of here's all the extra experiences that will create the best experience, because they do belong with us. And we're really interested in ensuring that the interns feel like they are valued and also belong within our company, and also exploring other aspects of our company as well.
Awesome. So 2 quick follow-up questions for you. Do either of you have kickoff events with your interns? Many companies do at the beginning of the summer, or they'll bring out the whole cohort together somewhere. And if you do you find that it's valuable, and what is the value of it? And then secondly, can you just remind us the number of interns that you're recruiting for? Erica.
Yes. So yes, we do have a kickoff event. We also have like a wrap-up event where the interns kind of share what they've learned and their recommended solutions for the respective tracks and the projects that they were aligned to. As it relates to our overall intern count, I want to say it's around 150-ish. I don't have the count on top of my head, but I know IT has the bulk of that number. But yeah.
Great. Thanks. Mihi.
We, because we have locations across our network, we would love to bring them in person, but we have a virtual orientation kickoff where our CHRO welcomes all of our interns. We also have experiences every week. They're meeting with the C-suite leader, and so they're very connected to leaders that it's not just they're seeing them, they're actually having one-on-one conversations about understanding them as leaders. Our leaders actually, I think, have way more fun than they anticipate talking with our interns. They absolutely love the experience. Our recruiting class, a little bit about XPO. We were known as XPO Logistics, and we spun off, and we're just now XPO focused on less than truckload. So the scale of our company, although 22,000, it's smaller than what we have once been. So we've kind of rebranded and kicked off. We're looking to recruit about 20 interns within our network this coming cohort.
Great. Thank you both. Josh, we're going to speed through the next few tabs here. So let's move in.
Okay, let's move on to the recruiting tab. Okay, so this is a brand new tab this year. We changed it a little bit. Last year, we were asked about virtual recruiting, but this year we wanted to focus in a little bit more on general recruiting overall. We found out about 75% of graduating seniors, again, this tab focuses on grad seniors, about 75% attended at least one recruiting event. Career fairs are the most commonly attended events. These blue bars represent students that did not attend the event. So you can see, for the most part, career fairs are still by far the most attended. That attendance is largely in person now, except for webinars, of course. And virtual attendance is dropping, which is to be expected at this point. We did ask for the first time about their sense of belonging during the recruiting process. And white students had the highest level. White men in particular had the highest level of belonging, which I think would be aligned with the theory on that. Black candidates were around the averages. Hispanic students, very low levels of belonging. Hispanic women, around the average. Hispanic men, they could see themselves at the company, but they were not feeling that recruiters were showing interest in them as an individual. And so, you know, that's something to think about, I think, for our recruiters out there. Non-binary students, it's a small number in our sample, but across the board, the lowest level of belonging. that we tracked. But 81% had been doing a recruiting event. So that's good to see that they're showing up. But we want to get those belonging numbers up so that they feel more comfortable with their recruiters.
Absolutely, Josh. And I mean, one of the things that we often talk about is how intimidating it is for a student who's never experienced something like this before to walk into an event like this, and particularly with all of these professional people around and not knowing what to expect and potential biases, et cetera, et cetera. And so would love to hear from our panelists. Have you had these discussions? What have you done to try and provide for a more welcoming environment at these events? Any tips, tricks that you have found are working? Mihi, anything to add?
Yeah, absolutely. I have very close relationships with our recruiters, and I'm involved in usually the first intake meeting as well. So we're really listening to what the business needs are, how we're going to expand and meet some of the targets we're looking for diverse candidate slates. But our recruiters do an excellent job of, from recruiting and sourcing and the entire process. They're the ones guiding the intern through this is how many interviews you'll see, here's who you'll be with. That process to guide along, we've surveyed our interns post internship, and we do explicitly include questions on how was your recruitment experience, how was your interview experience. And we see a really great correlation in anecdotes that they mentioned they remember their recruiter. Typically recruiters, they do a lot of the front end processes. And then once they're in the company, they have other candidates that they're sourcing, and they're moving through our interview processes. So to hear that and knowing that our recruiters are really kind of that first person that they're engaging with, they're the ones, explaining a lot of key pieces to our company, our brand, our culture. So we think, it's extremely important that whoever is that recruiter for any intern, any position, that they are really that source to support that individual throughout the entire hiring process until the offer comes through, and then any other, post onboarding processes as well. So they're there to absolutely support from end to end. So we find that really great and really supportive. And we're really mindful that a lot of interns engage with us before they even click apply, that our branding and our story on our social media outlets, our pages, our own LinkedIn, our Instagram, that we are sharing that story so they can identify themselves. Is this a company I might belong in? Because we know that is a critical piece to be engaging for that intern to want to even apply before they meet me at a fair, or they may have already known our brand. So we're very cognizant of that as well.
Great. Thanks, Mihi. How about for you, Erica?
Yeah, so for recruitment events, my team does manage those. And so what we do have is a crew resource database that includes crew members from across the enterprise. And what we do is try to identify crew members who have a direct connection to that institution or that partnership. So alumni are usually priority, and we also keep a lens on representation of the demographics needed to be represented at the event. We do host a crew resource training for all of our crew members going out to help recruit talent for us. And really here what we hone into is just sharing your own individual story. We don't ask our crew resources to memorize all the roles or our benefits, right? We just want them to share their own personal perspective as it relates to their development, their growth, and belonging at Vanguard, and really draw those connections when they're meeting one-on-one with candidates at networking events or career fairs. Similar to Mihi, we do survey our interns or the people that we interview for any of our positions, but we also survey anybody we interact with on campus. So if it's a networking event, coffee chat, career fair, and you sign up and join our talent community, post-event, we send you a thank you email, say, hey, this is how you can stay connected with us. And please let us know how your experience was. We do take that feedback into account at the end of each semester to understand, like, how can we best improve our representation at said event or said university. So we always try to make sure we're incorporating the candidate feedback in all angles, but then also, showing them a variety of crew members that they can connect to at these events.
Wow, that's really impressive. Not enough organizations, whether it's colleges, universities, or employers, are doing that level of evaluation. So congratulations to you for taking that up. It's intimidating to do that. So major kudos. All right, Josh, let's move ahead.
All right. So we have lots of tabs on the dashboard. This is going to be the last one that we touch on today because we are running short of time. So I will be quick. But we have linked some of the common career services with job offers and salary and applications. You can filter by major. Again, we put the institution prepped them well for their career on this tab, so you can look at its impact there. Attendance at recruiting events, again, so you can see impact on job offers. So the first one I wanted to show you was, yes, if a student felt they were prepared well for their career, I clicked on the yellow piece of the chart there. You can see job offers goes from 1.13 and applications from about 17 to 130 and 13. So they are getting more job offers with fewer applications. That's a good thing if students felt they were prepared well. I want to also point out, I'm going to look at this average job applications number. I'm going to look at gender here, some gender differences. Men applying to 19, almost 20 jobs on average. Women applying to fewer jobs, 15 jobs on average. That is something that is in the broader research, the broader literature on that. One reason we know is related to caregiving and other labor imbalances that fall on women. But excellent research has also shown that men will apply to jobs if they meet like one criteria that's listed, whereas women will not apply if they don't meet only one criteria. So folks out there, yes, our data have shown this year in, year out. We need to just be encouraging women to apply to more jobs. And I think these data show that very clearly. We can also look at job offers and service usage by these different demographics. I'm going to just click on maybe one or two of them quickly so that we can hear from our panelists if there is time. White men use services pretty low. Job offer, or sorry, white students, I didn't click on men. They're using services pretty low. These pink parts of the pie shrunk. Job offers stays around average. Applications go down. White men, lots of job offers. And high salary, 68,000 from 58,000. Let's look at Black students. Watch what's going to happen to these service usage chunks of the pie. Black students reported using career services at very high rates, almost 50% or so. That's great that they're getting help, but job offers really took a nosedive. And applications went up. So they're applying to more jobs, getting fewer offers. And they are using services at pretty high rates. The last thing I wanted to click on was students who used networking prep, for example. I'm going to look at job offers. When I click on the pink piece of the chart, it skyrockets. So this service is directly linked with improved job offers and also submitting more applications. With that, workshops
Yeah,
also.
Josh,
Similar.
would you mind clicking over to the career readiness tab real quick?
Sure.
And show us what we find here.
Yeah, so we do have these pink bars represent students' self-rated proficiency and their importance level on these different competencies. We do have a first generation. There was a question about first generation in the chat. We do have the first generation pie on here for you to click with and to see how it works. If a student was a first generation student, you can see they're self-rated proficiency is slightly higher than average. And this tab is for all undergraduates. So we have 9,000, 8,000 students here, which means the demographics will be really nice. Unfortunately, though, this number, they were slightly less likely to think their institution prepared them well than on first gen. It's basically close, but we're talking thousands of students here. So we can see also, liberal arts students, there's talk that, right, maybe the degree isn't as worth it, but liberal arts students, they can say their proficiency in critical thinking, communication, teamwork are relatively strong. When we looked at the data, it's kind of hard to see it with the things because they don't move a ton, but the STEM students, their self-rated proficiency in communication and equity is a little bit lower than the general average. One thing for our career service members that I'd love to point out is this big gap between students' self-rated proficiency in career and self-development, but the importance that they put on this competency for their career. So they recognize it's very important, and they recognize they are not very proficient at it. So I think this is a major window of opportunity for our career services professionals to step in and try to bring that proficiency level up to where students think it needs to be.
Josh, thank you so much for indulging us on that one. And I'd love just to turn to Erica and to Mihi on any reactions on this career readiness. Like, we hear a lot about the skills gap, competency gap. You see where the students are seeing themselves highly, but we also do the surveying on the employer side, and we know that there are some gaps. But generally, how are you feeling about the candidates you're seeing through your pipeline?
I think I'll start as a former career services professional in the higher ed space. We can definitely see students who have had services, have had their resumes looked over, have participated in mock interviews. They come very prepared. I engage in some campus activities like mock interviews, and you're blown away typically because of how prepared they are. And then I'll go and chat the career services team. So how often are they coming in for the support? And you can tell. So kudos to all the career services professionals out there that are doing the work, doing this hard work, getting students to come and connect and, get these services so they come polished to us. For us, it feels great when we can send on resumes onto our hiring managers, and it's a hard pill there when they have like 6 polished resumes. And they're like, where did they come from? Like, they're getting referred. So we're seeing that, right? If they're using these services on campuses, we're seeing that, and they come very well prepared, and they know how to interview well. They say soft skills. These are essential skills that when I look at all of our hiring managers, they're saying, we'd love somebody that has leadership. We'd love somebody that has been on a team and has had to work through challenge. So it's great when we actually see the work of our colleagues across all the higher ed institutions, and then we see what they're doing into their students, and they come to us. So
thank you for that. Erica, you get the last word. So you've got 1 minute, and then I'm going to wrap things up.
Yes, so similar thing. We can definitely tell the difference. My charge to the career service professionals that are on the line, hello to you, and again, great work that your teams do. One of the trends that I see specifically at minority serving institutions and minority groups at PWIs, predominantly white institutions, is that a lot of the diverse candidates don't know about your services or don't know about certain events that happened. And so I charge you and encourage you to go reach out to those diversity organizations, the Divine Nine Greek organizations, partner with the NSBs, the NABAs, the Alpha chapters that are on your campus to promote the events that you're doing. Because for whatever channel, for whatever reason, they're not getting the notification on the main channels that you are promoting your professional development workshops. And that's something that I hear all the time. So I think if there could be a way to bridge those connections with those minority student groups to share your services, I think we might see better results as it relates to preparation all across the board.
Excellent. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Mihi. Thank you, Josh. This has been really informative. We super appreciate all the information you've shared with us. This session was recorded, so you'll be able to access this anytime if you want to re-review any of this data. We also have on here a slide about our awards program. If you have participated in something, you've created something in your companies, on your campus, that has produced some really interesting results, we encourage you, we're tapping you on the shoulder to apply for our awards program. There are a large number of categories that you might see yourself in, from technology, diversity and inclusion, best practice programs, etc. And there are individual awards as well. So please check it out and nominate yourself or others that you think should be recognized in our fields. So we appreciate you all. If I don't see you before the holidays, happy holidays, everyone. And we have some other great free programs next week. I think there are like 3 of them next week. So please check those out on our website. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you around. Bye for now, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.